Welcome to the Leadership Drip, coffee and conversations for leaders leading the next generation. We're excited to welcome another incredible guest to the table. But before we do, could you do us a favor and hit that subscribe button? While you're at it, go ahead and give us a 5-star review. That helps these conversations reach other great leaders. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and get ready to join us at the table for another great episode of the Leadership Drip.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Leadership Drip. What we have for you today is what, Jeff?
It is the kickoff to Season 5.
Kickoff to Season 5?
It's almost like football season.
I feel like I need to sell it. Season 5.
Like monster trucks.
Monster trucks, yeah.
Not really. That's not really what we're about either.
That's who we
Obviously, we've had coffee today.
True. That's
Obviously.
true.
We're sipping it right now, actually. So
good news, fans. Early in this season, you're going to hear Pastor Rob talk about the no caffeine zone.
Or how are you doing with that? Are you still in the no caffeine?
I've got a full cup of caffeine as we speak.
Obviously.
I'm back in, bro. I'm back in.
So as you listen this season, there's a distinction between caffeinated Rob and uncaffeinated Rob, and you should be able to pick up on that.
But, you know, it was a good season. I think I needed to do it for a while.
That's good. That's important.
So
we ended last May with a couple of big things on the table. We announced to everybody. I don't remember. I think I had graduated at the season finale, maybe.
It's so blurry.
It's been so long.
It's so blurry.
Either way, I have finished the master's degree and completed that. Yeah. And we've been teasing out your PhD, which should be done when?
At the time of this recording, which is in August, my deadline is September the 15th.
Okay.
So very soon, Lord willing.
Lord willing, the creek don't rise is what they say in the country.
That's what we do say.
Say in the country.
And I've seen many a creek rise.
You've seen many a creek rise. That's the Virginia roots in you right there. Tell us, you went to Hawaii. Tell me about that, man.
It went phenomenal. Got to hang out with some really, really cool people. That came out of Wayne Cordero's movement. Like, if you know Wayne Cordero's, great leader. Phenomenal church there in Hawaii. Got to hang out with some people from C4 Church. Just tremendous leaders doing a great work in Hawaii. And also just got to spend 2 weeks in Hawaii for my 25th anniversary, and that was probably the highlight.
Oh, it should be the highlight.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Now, I remember you telling me that you nearly broke your wrist. How did that happen?
That is true. So,
Nor am I surprised by this.
No, of course not. I almost drowned surfing, too. That's a whole different story. So, I almost broke my wrist. I think I actually did fracture something. I just never went and got it checked out. But the point is, riding dirt bikes up in the North Shore Mountains, which is gorgeous. So I'm riding up this really steep hill, right? There's rocks everywhere. Yeah. And, man, you're going up the hill fast because speed is your friend when you're on a dirt bike. And it launched me. I hit a rock and it launched me, and I landed and about snapped my wrist. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
I'm healed.
Healed in the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus, I'm healed. Yeah.
And thank you for bringing some of the greatest coffee I've ever had in my life back. That was incredible. Kona. Yeah, like not the fake Kona. No. It's legit from Kona.
Legit, 100% Maui grown coffee.
You ruined me because I went to the Publix to look for Hawaiian coffee, and like on the bag there, it only says like 60% Hawaiian coffee. It's not even full Hawaiian.
No, it's not even. It's like I'm not even. Well, never mind. That's a whole different story. But how about you? I mean, you've got some kind of big stuff going on this
so
year too,
obviously finished the master's degree and got all crazy and thought we'd plant a church in the middle of this thing.
I love it. I love crazy.
As the time of this recording, which I think the release is maybe next week. So we'll be launching full on September 5th, our big launch service. Been busy. We traveled to a conference for it, and anybody who's planted a church knows, and you've done some of this work, there is just nonstop something all the time. So Amazon comes by my house every day, I feel like, because you're always ordering something that you never thought you'd ever have to order. But when you're a church planner, you order these things like table covers and stands and all kinds of just stuff all over the place. My wife looks at me the other day and she goes, we could do better. And I was like, what? She goes, not make our house the staging area for the church.
Yeah, that's right.
So we may get our garage back pretty soon. But we launched the 5th. We're super excited. Just an emphasis, as we talk about here, really trying to give space and place for young adults to lead, to grow into leadership. It's not just a young adult church, but we have that heart and that heart bend. And so we're super excited in our connection here at the university. My wife is a full-time employee here, which was a huge thing for God to open that door. So it's been this really fun summer with a lot of work and a lot of stuff. But fall's gonna be great, man.
It's gonna be awesome. I think I'm really looking forward to it. And by the way, another one of our great friends been on the show, Chris Brown,
Chris and Holly.
They just launched. I think it was this past week
in Columbia, Tennessee.
Great things.
Yeah. So if you're in the Columbia, Tennessee area.
Yeah.
Actually, and then our other friends launched a campus back in June, the Sealy's.
Sealy's, yeah.
So if you're in Columbia, Tennessee, I don't know who was praying, but God sent you some people.
Yeah. You got the Belonging Co. and you got the Well, which are just two phenomenal churches.
You could probably go to one at 9:30 and one at 11 and get all the Holy Ghost you need.
Amen to that. Yeah, great stuff.
So we applaud both of those people. We applaud the Sealy's. We've had some conversation with them since their launch of that campus, and I had some exchange with Chris actually this weekend, and he said things went really well.
Good.
We're just super excited. God's doing some really cool things and doing cool things here on campus.
Yes.
And I know you're excited about this coming up semester.
I'm telling you, man, it's hitting different, bro.
It's hitting different. Do people still say that?
They do. It's actually a thing, right? Our new producer.
Yeah, we didn't even introduce new producer.
Our new producer.
I got super excited about that.
Right? We're so excited. We're so pumped up. Elijah Bonilla is here, okay?
Yes,
Elijah. Not Ellie Bonilla, who's been on the show, but Elijah Bonilla.
Shout out, Ellie.
Shout out to Ellie. But Elijah Bonilla, who's here, he's an incredible, gifted, talent. One of those people who are so talented make you sick, right?
Well, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
That's it.
Yes, that's it.
He's our producer now, and shout out to Alexa, who's doing great things in California.
In
Hollywood, tearing it up. She's connected with one of the guests on the show that we're going to talk about in just a minute.
Yeah.
But, man, we're so excited to have Elijah with us. Just an amazing young man. Amazing family, doing great ministry for the kingdom. So, but, yeah, I'm super pumped for this fall. I'm telling you, it's really good.
It seems like there's a different energy on campus.
Totally different energy. And it's not just because we have people back on campus either. I genuinely think that God is doing something so incredible, supernatural, dare I say, on campus. I mean, it even started this past week with Move-In Weekend, and really felt it with our first U Church, which is one of our chapel experiences here on campus. It was basically a worship night with Lee U Worship, but the point is, I mean, the students were just all in, like masks. They didn't care.
Yeah.
Nothing was going to stop their worship. And it's going to be different. I'm really excited to see what God's going to do this year on campus.
I think we're seeing that on campus. I think there are pockets of that. I was having a conversation. I don't remember who it was with. But it feels like there's these pockets of revival taking place.
Yeah.
And sort of all over the place. You know, I think I was actually, I was listening back to the episode with Alex Sealy because she had such great things to say. I was reflecting on that episode. That's like episode, I don't know, 12 or 14. It's way back when.
Yeah.
But we were talking about like God was doing this great thing in Nashville, but there's like these hot spots of revival all over the place. And I feel like sort of like almost like a brush fire that's isolated is now starting to spread out and get wider. That's taking place in seemingly incredible places. Chris Brown, actually, I talked to him today, and he said to me, Henry Sealy actually came to their launch
I saw
which
the
is
post,
so kingdom-minded, right?
Yeah, right.
And so I was like, oh, I love this, and just on DMs and stuff. And he said, revival's coming to Middle Tennessee. And you just have this sense that it's spreading from one house, which there's good things happening in several places in Nashville, but it's spreading through that Middle Tennessee region. And then there's other places that's taking place. I think, and you may agree with this, and I hope you agree with this, that it's being fueled by young adults.
Absolutely. And I think that's part of the reason why we talk about it so much on the show is the revival is actually, I think, being fostered, sort of launched by this young adult community who are so sincere about their faith. And I think Lee University, I know I'm here, I know it may sound like I'm partial, but man, I truly believe that Lee University is one of those hot spots where revival is going to break out. And I've talked to already so many students. I'm talking probably at least 100 students in the last weekend who believe the same thing. Yeah. They know God is going to do something great at Lee. Yeah. And they're bringing that attitude, they're bringing that mentality, they're bringing that spirituality to the campus. And I'm excited.
Yeah, man.
I know Elijah's excited. We've talked a lot about it.
We'll get Elijah on the show.
We'll get him in on the show.
Yeah, we'll do a bonus episode with just Elijah sometime. So, yeah.
That sounds fun.
It is. This is a good idea, right?
It's kind of biblical.
Like kind of biblical?
Yeah.
Because his name's Elijah?
Bro, can you call down fire from heaven?
Oh, that would be awesome. Can we record fire on like just an audio show?
Do you have like a fire sort of background? Sort of like, I don't know if that's going to pick up on the mic, but anyway. Well, let's talk about season 5.
Okay, let's talk about
we could go on all day about the cool things that are happening for us and in our community and at school, and about our new producer. We could go all day about that. But we do have an incredible season 5 that's ahead of us. Really good conversation.
Yeah, we kick it off with a guy named John Ramsed, who is such an interesting dude. Like, he's kind of a leadership guru, former naval pilot.
Yeah, commander.
And I'm not spoiling anything from the episode. We did ask him how fast he went one time, and I think he said 1,300 miles per hour. Like, it was some ridiculous speed that made me want to vomit when he said it.
I think my Jeep will go that fast.
Your Jeep does not go that fast. I've ridden with you. It goes pretty fast. Like, and you stop pretty quick too, but I don't think it's 1,300 miles an hour.
I'm a little hard on the brakes. You know?
Yeah. So we talk leadership with him. We talk about his story. Incredible story of overcoming some obstacles and
he's had
real
some
life
serious
challenges.
Obstacles. Yeah, it's a crazy story.
And just drops leadership knowledge like ridiculously. So that's if I was prepping our audience for what to come, I'd say get a pen and paper for that one. Yeah, that's gonna be one you want to take notes on.
Yeah.
So. John Ramsey coming up. We had a guy we just met that we fell in love with is Justin Kendrick from Vox Church.
Vox Church up in Connecticut. Who knew in Connecticut, man?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yale guy.
Yale guy.
Well, he's not a Yale guy, but
he's in the Yale
They're working
community.
with the Yale community, yeah.
But just leading an incredible ministry up there.
That was probably one of our favorite conversations because it's centered around discipleship.
Yeah. Powerful discipleship conversation.
I'm going to say it again. Probably need pen and paper for that one. He's actually got a book coming out that should release. I think it releases September 5th. I think so. So the episode should release about the time that the book does. Yep. That is I don't recommend a lot of books. I mean, I read a lot of books, but I don't recommend a lot of books. That's one I'd recommend. Yeah. That's why I'm like, you need to get your hands on that. If you're a leader that wants to emphasize discipleship in your ministry, that's a book you need to get your hands on. It's super practical.
Excellent conversation.
Yeah,
Love Justin.
He like spoils the whole book in the conversation.
Doing good work.
Yeah. So, and then we talk neighboring with Chris and Elizabeth McKinney, which was kind of a different conversation for us.
That was an interesting conversation.
So they were with Crew City.
Right.
So, yeah.
Which is a part of the Crew sort of umbrella, but it is its own separate entity, and they focus a lot on neighborhood evangelism, like just getting to know your neighbors and the conversations that, are fostered and built because you actually are, caring for and loving and being a part of. Your literal neighbor. Your literal neighbor, like on your street, right? Yeah. So, and also just an incredible sort of evangelism strategy that, just allows for so many people to re-envision what evangelism is. Because when we think about evangelism, we often think about what it means to blurt out or speak out or share out loud, right? Take somebody to church or stand on the street corner or share your testimony, whatever. But honestly, what they're doing is really cool because they're just literally doing life with people. Mm-hmm. And by modeling Christ-like attributes, it's creating some powerful conversations. So also, that was fun. They have a book as well. And
we reference that in the episode.
Yeah. So, and just an incredible sort of concept that they're doing through Crew City.
Yeah. And then we go to Hollywood.
We went to Hollywood. My people, man. I'm telling you, it's my people.
Yeah. Anytime we get a SoCal person on, you like lose your mess, man.
I know,
you just get so excited.
I can't help it. I just get all jazzed out.
So Phil Cook, not the University Phil Cook.
Not the University Phil Cook, who we love, by the way. Yeah,
but Phil Cook, who is in the media world. He does a lot of media, a lot of movies, different things with Christians and non-Christians. Yeah. And he kind of brings this conversation of really how do we engage in a media-driven culture, right? Which is so important when we talk young adults because they live in the media culture.
Yeah, and he has written already a couple really good books. Yeah, Branding Faith is one of them. What was the other one that we mentioned? One Big Thing.
Yeah, and, you find your purpose.
Yeah. So he's written a ton on this particular conversation alone. Just powerful conversation with Phil Cook. And I think he's kind of he's a unique guy because he's in this Hollywood media culture, but he also teaches theology at Oral Roberts University, right? So right? I mean, I know I mentioned the other school on our show, with them. But we're friends, right? We love ORU.
Cousins.
You've got
I got people there.
You got people there, like good friends there, and so do I. But anyway, but he's an interesting guy because he's got the theological sort of understanding. He's got the Pentecostal sort of theology and approach, but he's operating at high levels in one of the most difficult cultures and communities on earth.
I thought he brought such great insight. We've had several guests do this, but he echoed some of the conversation on how we engage in the church with media and how we utilize it. And it's a great conversation. If you're a local church leader, if you're a pastor and you're going, what do I do with this media-driven thing? How do I adapt it to the culture I'm in, the context I'm in? He brings some nuts and bolts and some just real critical things to think about.
And he underscores, I think, one of the biggest themes we've had throughout the entire show, all seasons, and that is get Gen Z, get young adults engaged in your church now.
Yes.
Right now. Give them a space right now to lead and to grow and to build, because they're making a huge difference. Yeah, so love-filled conversation.
I didn't know this about you.
What's that?
That you were such a gamer.
Right.
When we had John
Wiley, man.
You had him on, we had him on, and
I was totally geeking out.
We had one question about gaming, and Rob turns it into like a 15-minute conversation.
Well, I can't help it. I'm a gamer, bro. I'm like
I didn't know.
Original NES, like Atari.
Yeah.
I go way back. Frogger, I go way back. I'm telling you, man.
Like Cubert, you remember
Cubert, Frogger, Pac-Man, all of them. Yeah. So great. That was a fun conversation.
John's a great dude, man.
It was definitely the first time we've ever had someone from the quote gaming community on. But again, just a tremendously sold out believer in Jesus, man, doing great work in a concept and a community that, the church doesn't really have access to a ton, right? We don't talk a lot about church, the gaming community.
It really is a gaming community. Yeah. Like John references the fact that it is a community of people, that people are finding culture and finding community, finding people, making friends through these games and through gaming that they're not finding elsewhere, which was so intriguing. Because like I've got kids that are and teenagers, and your boys are early 20s. And they're hardcore gaming. Like they'll play for hours.
Absolutely.
And like my mama would always be like, "Get off that game! You're gonna burn your eyes out. You're gonna go blind." All that kind of things. But what but what we're finding is that it truly is, and especially in the times of COVID, was a space for community.
Right.
And space for friends. Like he plays with kids like just up the street on the gaming system, but they're having conversations while they game.
Yeah.
And John talks about that and really informs some things that maybe as leaders we didn't know about. Yeah.
And then you had to do a couple solo episodes because I was traveling and speaking at different places, but you had Jordan Whitmire and Colin Henderson on. So tell me a little bit about those shows.
Jordan's a great young man. This kid is killing it. He hosts the Gen Z Today podcast. And he's like 21, 22. He's young. One of those young sort of influencers that we have. He's not really in the influencer culture, but he's almost pastoring his peers, which is so interesting. We don't see a lot of that. We see people trying to influence their peers. Jordan is a guy that wants to pastor his peers.
Yeah.
And doing a great job with the Gen Z Today podcast. He just really lends some insight into the thinking of Gen Z, especially around evangelism and some things they're doing. And you'll enjoy that, just hearing from somebody in that generation, that sort of niche. Jordan brings a lot of insight from his peer group. So then Colin Henderson, like he's a mindset coach, which was something totally new for us.
Yeah.
But he helps us with our thinking. Really kind of walks through some ways that leaders can think better. The Bible says, as a man thinks, so is he. So really, it's sort of an important conversation on how we do better thinking. One of the huge takeaways for me in that conversation was I started rewriting my affirmations. It was something Craig Rochelle did several years ago, and I started, and then I backed off of it. But it's something I went back to. I'll do my journaling and my devotional time, but now I also added affirmations to set my day up for success and how I think about my life and the things, because we are so surrounded. I think Colin tells us it's like you have 85,000 thoughts, and 85% of those are negative thoughts or something ridiculous.
I get a pen and paper for that one too.
Yeah. So get a pen and paper. So lots of really good thoughts there. It's going to help you as a leader just think better and set up your thinking for the day. Because I think that's a really biblical principle that we don't talk a lot about. So
that's good. And then finally, where we are right now, and we still have more of season 5.
This is what's just recorded. Yeah.
This is just what we've already recorded. This is what we've got coming up at the moment. But speaking of geeking out just a little bit, my boy Jeff over here got a little bit excited when we had Glenn Pacquiao on the show. Because why, Jeff?
Well, if you're an old school CCM worship guy like me, like Desperation Band was it. Like they were it, man. Rescue, that song, I'd be on my face crying out to Jesus when that song came on. Hands up, you know. And what's crazy is Glenn is now a campus pastor for New Life,
right?
And still writing some songs. But we talk about shifting from being a songwriter and worship leader into becoming a pastor. We also talk about this blended model of liturgical and Pentecostal expression. Some really interesting conversation that I didn't expect. It was just super intriguing, though.
And he has a great book coming out in the near future. I think it's in February, so it's a little ways off, but still, great book on pastoral resilience.
Yeah, with
Barna. Does a lot of great research with Barna. Just an incredibly intelligent guy and just
fun, though.
And fun, you know,
like not intelligent, not like boring intelligent. He was a good time. Like,
it was a lot of fun. So Glenn Packiam coming up, and again, we have more episodes.
Still
to come for the season.
Some guests on the schedule that are going to blow your guys' mind.
Yeah, we're super excited. We actually, even at this recording, we landed one today that we are super pumped about because we've been trying to track this guy down for a while. So I don't know if you want to say it.
No,
I'm not going to say it.
We'll save it.
We'll save it.
Just know when you listen to the Glenn Packiam episode, probably the next one coming after that is gonna be a good time.
It's gonna be a good one. Mate.
Little spoiler. If you can figure that out. It's not Chris Kane.
No.
That's not Chris Kane.
Yeah, because she's not a dude. So
that would be.
Yeah, that would.
It would be weird.
Yeah.
But if Chris Kane wants to come on the show,
we are still in the hunt for Chris Kane.
Yeah. Maybe this friend will help us get there.
I feel like we've circled around Chris Kane. We know her people.
Everybody she knows.
Like we're in her tribe. But she's not being very compliant right now.
I told you the day what happened, right?
No.
On Twitter?
What happened on the Twitter?
So
I'm off Twitter, by the way.
Yeah. You're fasting Twitter.
Yeah.
Or quit Twitter, one or the other. I don't know.
Sort of both.
Okay. So Chris is a huge coffee drinker.
Yes.
And so she has some friends here in Cleveland, Tennessee that she comes and sees probably once a year. And so she was talking about coffee, whatever. And I said, Chris, next time you're in Cleveland, I will buy you a cup of coffee.
Yes.
And she said, yes, mate.
Yes, mate.
So I don't know when she's coming to visit this friend that lives here, but when she does, I'm supposed to buy her coffee.
We're going to get her coffee.
And we're going to record it and make it a podcast episode. So I'm buying coffee next time she's in town.
We're buying coffee next time she's in town.
So if that works out. So, but we got more things. And listen, it's going to be a fun fall. So put on your seatbelts.
Hang on.
And we're just going to just go for it.
Season 5 coming up.
Season 5. Would you ever think we got to get here?
No. Was that too soon? Is that
your confidence is so good, man.
But no, it's been a blast.
It's been a good time,
Season 5 is going to be great, and really excited.
Yeah, so stick with us, man. Subscribe, rate, review, share it with your friends, share it with your pastor, share it with your mama, whoever, get them listening. We're excited about the content. We're excited about the people that God keeps putting in our life to talk to us. I think that's the thing, Rob, and I've said this to you a couple of times. We're just a couple of guys trying to have important conversations and help students.
Yeah.
And God keeps putting people in our life to have these conversations with. Like, there's no way guys like me should be in the room with some of the people we've been in the room with. So
amen to that. That makes two of us. But
that's the favor of the Lord.
Favor of the Lord. So
yeah, we're excited about that.
Been awesome.
It's always a good time to sit with you, have coffee.
Absolutely.
And tacos. We're not eating tacos right now because that'd be really loud on the show.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So we eat crunchy tacos typically. So,
all right, man. Hey, I'll see you soon with the launch of episode 1. Welcome, Elijah, to the Leadership Drip. Congratulations, man. We're excited to have you on the show. So, as we always like to say, it's a Leadership Drip.
You always have a seat at the table.
Got to sit at the table.
See you, bud.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Leadership Drip. If something from this episode was helpful for you, then share it on your social media and tag us. If we see it, we may reshare it on our channels. We appreciate you taking the time to join us, and remember, you always have a seat at the table.